Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Outside the Box TV. I'm your host, Alex Hansery. It is April 24th, 2011. Alex White is sitting with me again tonight, and we're going to be covering some of the latest developments. It appears we have some serious storms taking place in the Midwest, leading some to speculate that perhaps HAARP is to blame. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. And we also have some other things that we're going to be talking about as well. Another earthquake has hit Japan, and we'll have some updates on the oil spill. How are you doing tonight, Alex?
Good, yeah. It's definitely been a lot of news in the last week.
Well, Michael Clarkson was scheduled to be our guest tonight. He is missing in action. So hopefully we'll have him on at some point in the future. And this is his book right here, Poltergeist Phenomenon. Kind of the irony, the very first show we're going to do on Poltergeist, the guy vanishes into the ether. But hey, we've got a lot of interesting things to cover tonight. We want to hear from you. 503-288-4442, 503-288-4442. Oh, and just a reminder, Google Video, for those that don't know, for years, my shows have been seen all over the world on Google Video. It's been announced by Google, which owns YouTube, that they're going to be deleting, flushing their system of all videos, which means effective April 29th, 2011, you will no longer be able to watch videos on Google. You'll still be able to watch videos on YouTube, but YouTube's been kind of a pain in the you-know-what with censorship, and anytime I use copyrighted material, a couple weeks ago I played a clip from Lord of the Rings, that got pulled off of YouTube. So the future of the web is changing, and I'm working behind the scenes. In the meantime, Alex is helping me trying to create a best of Outside the Box 4 DVD set. So hopefully that will be available in several months' time. We have some news to go over. Amazing storms in the Midwest.
Yeah, it's crazy. If you look at just one after the other, it seemed like in multiple states. Well
over 12 states. The St. Louis airport was hit especially hard. We have Terminal 1. The plate glass was shattered along with losing a roof, and people are reportedly too freaked out to talk. Now, Bill, the graphics are in sequence, in specific order. So we have some storm pictures at the very top. We'll try to get you the script right here, which is actually in my hand. We have the script. So go ahead and start talking about the storms, Alex.
Yeah, it's amazing how these. If you look at the graphics of the overview, like bird's eye view, NASA type stuff, it looks really a lot of geometric shapes, and it just doesn't seem natural. A lot of it, people have speculated that HAARP might be involved, and really they haven't really explained themselves on what exactly HAARP can do, what it even is, meant to be for. It's certainly not exactly clear at this point.
So let's go ahead and cover some of these developments here. So St. Louis Airport was hit particularly hard, and it's now being reported that a massive severe outbreak is coming next week. Bill, go ahead and bring up camera number 2 and get both of us in the shot. ACCUweather.com severe weather experts are already greatly concerned about the tornado potential, with a series of storm systems set to track across the hard-hit plains, Midwest, and Southeast throughout next week. These are the largest storms in 37 years, and they're expecting up to 300 tornadoes over the next 2 weeks. And we have that graphic on the screen there. We also have some other graphics that we're going to show that are going to document these. And so it's led some people to suspect that perhaps HAARP is involved. Bill, if we can get some of those graphics that are there in sequence. There you go. Fire it up. Fire at will. Fire at will. Go ahead and fire that one, Bill.
It's not on, yeah. There you go.
Thank you. We need to show each one of these graphics. Now, this is what has led some people, let's take our time, Bill, and just take a look, let the mind take a mental snapshot. Go ahead and show each one of these. But these are rings that were captured from radar, leading some to believe that these tornadoes are actually being engineered. And there's a lot of information on YouTube right now that is pointing to this area of research.
Yeah, I mean, and so many people have no idea what HAARP is at all. If you ask 90% of the public, has no clue of it, has any knowledge of it. I mean, they say that it's, you know, it's not anything negative. It's not anything.
What have you
sinister.
heard specifically in reference to these tornadoes?
I haven't heard anything in the mainstream news whatsoever about any.
There was one video that was put on YouTube where before the storm took place, a person was pointing out the rings that were appearing on radar before these storms hit. So we have thousands of people that are homeless right now, not to mention Japan. We'll get to that later. While this is going on, massive wildfires in Texas.
Yeah.
Governor Rick Perry is asking the citizens of the state there to pray for rain. 1 million acres have been scorched already, and there is no reprieve in sight. The fires have been raging for more than a week in Texas, so far burning through 1.4 million acres of land and racking up more than $8 million in containment costs. And people, the wildfire thing is a big issue right now, because if you look at the chemtrailing issue, it goes hand in hand with with wildfires, because the chemtrails, when those metals and chemicals land on trees and on wildlife, it'll ignite like crazy. It's from
like
chemtrails.
Yeah,
flammable.
Flammable, very
aluminum
flammable.
oxide,
Yeah,
barium.
very.
Now there's a lot of people watching this show asking if HAARP's involved pertaining to the earthquake in Chile, Christchurch, Japan, and other things that are taking place on the planet. Now, the reality is we have solar flares that I do believe are directly causing Earth changes. Right here on Earth, we had a solar flare on the 9th of March, a day before the earthquake in Japan. That solar flare was actually traveling 5 million, that's 5 million miles an hour. But could HAARP be used at the same time as a solar flare? For example, if they are trying to engineer cataclysmic events on Earth, it is very possible, ladies and gentlemen, that the power of the sun can be harnessed and directed, and this is important information to be aware of.
Yeah, and HAARP actually, I found a thing that says the HAARP, the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Program website has been down for the past 3 weeks. It was taken down by the U.S. government to conceal U.S. weather modification and earthquake, including warfare activities against foreign states. The HAARP website was publishing very damaging evidence of U.S. military weather modification and earthquake triggering operations against foreign states. And you want to talk weapons of mass destruction, controlling the weather? I mean, come on.
Let's go back to Hurricane Katrina.
Yeah.
There were people that looked at what took place there and said that was their technology. The fact that it moved in at a 90-degree angle.
Yeah.
And so, in terms of Japan, on Thursday, just several days ago, another earthquake hit, a 6.3. A magnitude quake hits Japan as evacuation zones were sealed off. Japanese government censors have been censoring the Fukushima reports that contradict the official story. Censorship of the truth about what is really going on at the crippled Fukushima nuclear facility has been taken to a whole new level of corruption. The Japanese government appears to be working closely with both the Tokyo Electric Power Company, TEPCO, and the nation's mainstream media outlets to maintain the facade that everything is just fine, that the nuclear meltdown situation is largely under control. But recent prodding and questioning by certain media sources outside the good old boys club have struck a nerve with authorities, sparking the new crackdown on those who oppose the official story. That sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Authorities say such scrutiny is a threat to national security. Now here, Alex, but they're talking about the Japanese officials are covering it up. What about our own country? So they raise the levels of how much radiation is safe.
Yeah.
They tell you on Fox News and Coulter, yum, 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 yum.
Radiation
is good for you. Just put on your cereal. You know, a little like a DMT back in the 70s.
Have radiation in them. It's
Put some
fine.
Roundup on it while you're at it. Put a little hair on your chest. It's good for you, and it might prevent cancer. So this is what's being told to people of America.
Yeah, no actual, you know, anything. If they're talking about anything, it's potassium iodine. Get your potassium iodine.
There are so many ways, and we've mentioned this in the past, that you can take care of yourself. Do some research. There's a lot of amazing pieces of information on the web. We don't have the time. We don't have the man resources to look into everything. But as long as you have the World Wide Web at your fingertips, and even if you're watching this on Access TV and you don't have a computer, there are resources in the Portland area. And of course, if you're watching this online on YouTube, just open up a new tab and start Googling away. The information is there, ladies and gentlemen. It only requires an attention span.
Yeah, it's amazing.
But people have attention spans for football.
Yeah.
People have attention spans for the fake left-right paradigm. They have attention spans to watch, what was it? There's a royal family wedding, apparently, they're talking about.
Yeah.
And the Pope was riding around today with his little red cross looking down upon the slaves. If we've got the attention span collectively for all these monkey games, we've got the attention span to find out exactly what we need to know to keep us healthy and keep us prosperous.
Yeah, and whenever there's a war and whenever we're bombing countries, shock and awe, guess what? Highest ratings ever. It's like 1 and 2. I mean, you can watch people being bombed, but you can't do some research.
I want to mention this really briefly. I don't watch TV, and you know that. I don't even watch that many movies. In fact, I don't have the time for it. I don't have the attention span for illusionary movies. Folks, we're living in the middle of an action film script that's never been written. I mean, the type of world we're living in, I mean, it is just beyond
a brave new
beyond
world.
The Bourne Identity. I mean, who has time for the Bourne Identity? I mean, just look at what's going down. But the point is this: it was the Pope, it was the royal wedding, and there was some other really insane things. But here's what it's like surfing the digitally enhanced apocalypse. Okay, you've got footage of the storms taking place on Comcast 47, the Weather Channel, and the night before last. On channel 53 FX, you've got the Day After Tomorrow playing. And I'm just sitting there like channel surfing, going back from 53 commercial breaks to 47, watching the Weather Channel, going back to Day After Tomorrow. And, you know, the Day After Tomorrow is a film that is very sensational, but it does make you wonder if anything like that could possibly take place on the planet, given what Bob Felix said on this show several months ago when he talked about his book, Not by Fire, but by Ice. But one thing is for certain, our planet's changing right now. We're having more earthquakes, there's more fluctuations with the weather, and it seems we clearly have a combination of naturally caused, natural events with potential man-made tampering.
Yeah, and if you look at how Hollywood deals with this type of taboo subject, it's Day After Tomorrow or The Knowing or 2012, and they usually accentuate it. Like in the Day After Tomorrow, there was a when the cool came, it was like instantaneous, and like when in The Knowing, it was like a nuke. The solar flare was like a nuke, and in 2012 it was the same thing. It was like a nuke.
A lot of these 2012 disaster films have no basic foundation in science.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that our world isn't changing as we know it, but when they start describing what a solar flare would do to the Earth, again, it's a nuke.
Yeah.
The other weird thing about The Knowing, since we're on the topic of strange Hollywood films, we'd like to hear what you think about some of the films that are also coming out this time. 503-288-4442. It's a lot of strange stuff that we can't keep up to date with, nor is it very important, but certainly the human mind is so fascinated by colorful objects and sound bites and entertainment. And so when you have these multinational corporations creating disinformation stories, when you have the CIA and the Pentagon running newsrooms, and then you have those same corporations literally pumping films out every second of every day, but you have the same conditioning, the same script writers behind the scenes, crafting the perceptions of millions of susceptible American minds. There's another film that's also, I've only seen part of it, and it was on TV today, Spartacus. And so, of course, Spartacus,
I am
Spartans! They're defending their little tribe from the Persians, but the Persians are like monsters. They're not Persians. They're called Persians, but they're actually
Same with 300.
This is something that I want to make crystal clear. America has not dealt with its racist past, nor present. Neither has collectively the people within the city of Portland. Now, they say that Many people voted for Barack Obama because they were guilty about slavery. Well, here's one thing that I have to say about that particular topic. Your ancestors may be guilty of owning slaves, but you are not guilty of owning, but you may be guilty